This is an exercise on exiting, getting your exit direction right. There's two ways that we're going to improve our exit direction. And the first is using your compass. So just like any bearing, you need to get the north lines on the map lined up with the needle on the compass, and you need to get the leg lines, whichever leg you're on, lined up with the straight line on the compass, and that needs to be pointing directly forwards. So on each of these legs, you're going to make sure that you get that perfect, but it's not going to be a come into the control, stop here, get your compass sorted, and then go again. The way we're going to do that to emphasize smooth exiting is that you're going to, when you're maybe just coming into the control, you're then going to turn your map and do the whole line up the leg line and line up the north line ready for the next leg, so that there's actually a small part where your map's not orientated correctly because you've prepared it for the next leg. And I know that's against what we say when you're practicing compass bearings, is always your map has to be orientated correctly to the terrain. But just for the split second, we're confident, we know where the control flag is going to be because we've navigated correctly into it. And just for a few seconds before we punch the control, we're going to turn our map to get ready for the exit. And then once you get into the control and go for the exit, your map's already lined up perfectly. So you basically just have to look down at the compass needle, and the compass needle will turn relative to you as you turn relative to the terrain through the control circle, and you're just rotating your body as you're running so that you line up perfectly and you're away, and you never had to slow down, you never had to stop. So that's one half of what we're doing in this exiting exercise. The second part of what we're doing is, as we're coming into this control, we're identifying a feature to identify our exit. So maybe it's that hill here or the depression here. You should be able to see both, and you know that you're coming directly between them. So you can actually see your exit in the terrain. Let's have a look at 12 to 13 here. If you're coming into 12, you know that the control's on the other side of this hill here. And so in order to identify your exit in the terrain, as you're coming along here, you want to be looking this way, and you want to see which features you have to run back over before you head off to 13. So in this case, it's really all about this hill. You know that you have to come up and over the hill, punch number 12, and then come back over the hill. And you should have also done the compass thing that we discussed there, and you keep practicing not only getting the compass bearing perfect, but also using your eyes as you come into the terrain to identify that once you exit 13, you're heading around the side of the hill, and you should be able to see this reentrance shape, this depression shape, and you have to cross over at the end of the depression. So we're not just taking a blind bearing and starting to read the map, halfway along the leg and relocate and wing it. We know precisely what our exit direction looks like in the terrain, and precisely which direction it will be based on what the compass is telling us.